Hello, my name is Denise Sereno, and I'll be interviewing 3 professionals who have taken a great part in the creation of bioprinting. And hopefully, by the end of this interview, you will learn more information.
Hello, my name is Alexia Serna, and I will be explaining the theoretical aspect of bioprinting. Bioprinting is basically printing out a fully functional organ or tissue. This is made possible by getting a cell from the patient and basically duplicating it. After doing so, we can insert it into our bioprinter, and our bioprinter will be able to melt and shape a special filament, which we have also created, and it will then intertwine both the cells and the filament in order to produce a desired organ or tissue.
Hello, my name is Dr. William Montes, and I'll be talking to you about the practical aspect of bioprinting through a surgeon's point of view. As mentioned before by the engineer, Ms. Serena, after you've reached the desired organ or tissue, you have no fear of waiting for a wait list or being implanted with the wrong blood type. It will go as smooth as a regular transplant.
Hello, my name is Carolina Chapa, and I will be describing the business aspects of bioprinting from an economist's point of view. The entire bioprinting industry is currently a $700 million industry, with only $11 million invested in medical applications, which is roughly 2%. In the next 10 years, it is expected for the bioprinting industry to grow to a $8.9 billion industry, of which $1.9 billion is to be for medicine. In theory, although bioprinting would be less costly to manufacture and assemble compared to other highly equipped machinery that would be expected to be more expensive, the only way for the bioprinting industry to be sustained economically is by finding new markets.
Good morning, Laredo. My name is Denise Sereno, and I'll be interviewing 3 professionals who took a great part in the creation of bioprinting. As we all know, society has been evolving within the fields of STEM. Therefore, bioprinting has taken into a great consideration into the advancement. So hopefully by the end of this interview, we will answer all your questions. So the first question would be, how does bioprinting function? Like, what is the structures into the bioprinter? And so in order for us to have a better understanding.
Okay, so in order to successfully print an artificial organ or tissue, we must first create a computer-aided design, which is short for CAD. The CAD is the basic 2D blueprint of how the desired organ or tissue should look like. The CAD consists of the precise and exact measurements of the desired organ or tissue. So once the CAD is complete, we will then be able to transfer that image onto our bioprinter. Once doing so, we will then take the patient cell, which we have previously obtained, and insert that into the bioprinter as well. Once this is complete, the bioprinter will begin the printing process. The first thing the bioprinter will do is it will take Seproid, which is another name for bioink. The bioink will basically be the commander of the cells, in a way, since the bioink basically tells the cell how to form and what shape to take part. However, the cell cannot do this alone. That is why the bioprinter will now use hydrogel, which is another name for biopaper. What the biopaper will do is it will then basically fill in the basic mold as well as create the basic mold for the organ or tissue. Once this is done, the bioprinter will then begin melting and shaping a special filament in order to create the intricate and precise capillary walls and structures of the desired organ or tissue. Once this is complete, the total process time-wise varies depending on the complexity of the organ or tissue.
Okay, thank you. So my following question is mostly what all of us are asking. How is bioprinting doing? Does it have any side effects? Does it have any complications? Because I imagine that you guys have done so many researches and experiments with patients. Has there been any complications throughout the operation?
When we first began the process of bioprinting, we noticed the bottom layer of the organ or tissue would not be able to receive any nutrients or air from the body. So as a result, it would end up dying and causing infections to the host. To combat this, we decided to print out capillary walls, which we would insert before the organ to prevent any further complications. Living proof of this would be Stephen Powers, the first person to undergo this kind of surgery. after his motorcycle accident, he lost half of his face, and the procedure allowed him to have new tissues implanted into his face. And this comes to show that bioprinting has come a long way to be benign to the human body. Other ways that bioprinting has helped out patients is the creation of vaccines and prosthetics. These vaccines were created specially to have tissues from the person in order to alleviate the illness they have. And as for the prosthetics are built to have the same endurance as a real limb or stronger. In addition, the fear of having artificial body parts implanted into you is diminished due to the fact that you are no longer waitlisted and have the fear of having the wrong blood type inserted into you.
Thank you. So my last question is, what is your guys' input towards people who have low income? Due to the fact that we acknowledge that bioprinting seems very expensive, how would you guys go back into that and help out people? Because there's many who are low income and do need to receive those transplants.
Since bioprinting has been in the rise in recent years, this has had a total impact on the overall cost of an organ transplant. Between the years 2016 and 2030, the total cost for an organ transplant has decreased by more than half. What this means is that families with a lower income may be able to afford an organ transplant, like a kidney. This is due to the law of supply and demand. What the law of demand basically states is that when a consumer demands more of a product, in this case organ transplant, the price significantly decreases. So in the year 2016, what families with a lower income couldn't afford may be able to afford it in future years because demand has gone up, and according to the law of demand, the price will decrease, which in turn they will be able to afford it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
After listening to the interviews, we have concluded that bioprinting is an efficient product due to the fact that it has undergone through many researches and experiments. However, there's many people who oppose the evolution of bioprinting, but there are many promises that bioprinting has to offer. For example, bioprinting also helps reduce the amounts of lives being lost during the operation. It also helps as an alternative to the distressing families in which they have to be waitlisted or money situations.